Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Today is 7/14/14. Boy, we always seem to have these funny kind of numbers. 7/14/14. This is show 58, and the name of the show is Net Metering. And you guys are going to say, they always want to mess with the internet. No. This has to do with the meter, that your electric meter, and we're gonna talk about that today. And I tell you, we're gonna show you a video that it's gonna blow you away. I mean, when you see this video, all the pieces are gonna start to fit. And if this video doesn't wake you up, you might need CPR. But I want to talk about Solarized Brookfield. And I spoke with Stefan, and so far they've had about 50 qualified prospects that they've actually gone out to their houses and laid their cards on the table. And out of the 50, Stefan said 8 people have agreed and have signed up. So guys, things are starting to happen. And what we want to do is, the idea here is, and on July 26th, there's going to be an open house in Brookfield. So you can go online to Solarize Connecticut, and it's going to be on Powderhorn Ridge Road in Brookfield. And like I said, it's going to be an open house. You can go there. They already have the panels put in. But guys, every day's an open house. Every show's an open house when it comes to solar. Because what we want to do is we want to keep you updated on the new developments and what's going on. And, every week we want to teach you about trickle-down economics, right? Uncle Joey, trickle-down economics. And we want to teach you how to redistribute your wealth into your own pocket, while at the same time being a job creator. Now, guys, I asked Stefan, and I didn't get a response because they're so busy down there. But, for each house that gets solar, that has solar installed, how much employment is that? Is that one guy, 1 month's worth of employment? Is that, one guy, 2 months worth of, you know what I mean? So if the guy's on Smith Street and he's putting solar on the roof and it takes him a week to put up the brackets with the panels, and then they got to run I don't know, but let's find out, because this way you could see how many people you're putting to work with solar. And guys, as far as the show goes tonight, the first clip is going to be Net Zero. It's a guy in Jersey that did such a beautiful video. And not only is all his electricity free, but he powers his car for free. Now, guys, on this show, I use the saying, put solar panels on your roof and a Tesla in your garage, and you don't care what the price of gas goes to. Well, guys, I never included the volt. So this guy makes enough electricity for his house and enough to power his volt. So he's got no fossil fuel oil bill, and he's got no electricity bill. And we're going to show you that. Oh, I'll tell you, you're going to be blown away. And then we're going to do a clip with Lyndon Rye from Solar City. And you're going to see how Solar City conducts their business. And it was done on CBS. Very well done. Matter of fact, I think the solar industry, in the beginning of the clip, they claim it grew by 47% last year. Investors, is the light starting to go off? And then we're going to show you a clip from Connecticut Spotlight, which is an NBC up in Waterbury, I believe, or up in Hartford. But they do a clip called Energize Connecticut, and they show their financing options, where you can lease or own. And guys, they coined a new phrase that I'd like to incorporate here. They said we want to turn sunlight into savings. And I said, boy, if that doesn't hit the nail on the head. And then we're going to show you some houses, and we're going to show you the actual numbers, the amount of money they saved. And there'll be no denying it. And then we're going to show you Connecticut's largest solar complex up in Somers. And then we're going to show you the largest solar array in the world in the Arizona desert. And then we shift gears, we play a little John Lennon, and then we let the bada binging begin. And today we're going to talk about Ying Li. And guys, I'm going to show you how to do the Ying Li salute today. And believe me, when anybody ever asks you about China and the amount of solar and renewable power they do, you're going to give them the Ying Li salute. So you gotta stay tuned for this. And then we're going to show you how the climate deniers have been banned from the British Broadcasting Network. That's right. If you're a climate denier and you're going to post your BS, you ain't going on the BBC, no more. They're not going to take any flat earthers either, guys, and I'm sure they're not going to accept anybody that doesn't think the world is less than 10,000 years old. But we're not going to talk about that. That's the second half of the show. And then we're going to follow that up with Bill Maher and his zombie lies. And how sometimes lies just don't die. They become zombies and they just keep living. And then we're going to introduce you to a new clip called the Climate Denial Crock of the Week. And we're going to show you so that when somebody says something, you're going to say, no, 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 no. I saw it, and here's, oh guys, and by the way, be specific and name your source is sweeping the internet. Uncle Joey loves it. He's still dancing. Him and his T-Billy friends up there. Be specific and name your source. All right. So guys, today, now we're going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to show you the first clip. And I mean, sit down, take it easy, listen to what he says, and you can see what it's like to not have to pay two distinct separate bills and how to live in a net zero house. John, hit it.
Hi, my name is Ed Hammerly from NJ Renewable Energy. You're looking at what would appear to be an average American home. It's actually my home, but it isn't so average. This is a net zero house. And if you're not familiar with what net zero is, this house uses as much energy as it makes. So essentially, I have no utility bills. That also includes my car right here, which is an electric vehicle. So I am completely self-sufficient. Our family here is self-sufficient, and we're really not subjected to changes in oil prices as far as gasoline and so forth. So I'm going to go around the house and show you how I got there. But there's one thing I want you to keep in mind. There's so many people who suggest that doing this, well, yes, he has a house that doesn't use any energy, but he spent all this money to get there, so maybe it's a wash. But the fact of the matter is that you're spending this money whether you want to or not. Do you want to give the money to a solar manufacturer or a geothermal manufacturer, or do you want to give it to your utility company for the end of time? So these are investments, and the investments that I've made have return on investments of over 10 to 15%. So it makes financial sense, it makes environmental sense, and it's the way we should be doing things. So come take a look and I'll show you how I got there. And let's just address this point about investment one more time. All the systems and products I'm going to show you have a 100% return on investment from about 2 to 8 years. So again, do we want to pay the bank in the short term, or do we want to pay the utility for the life of the home? All right, so I'm going to glance over a bunch of different concepts, ideas, systems, and so forth. If there's anything that interests you, go back through my previous YouTube videos. I cover everything in great detail. Before we get into the high-tech renewable energy systems, we're first going to attack the small stuff, the easy things. Energy-efficient appliances, changing over to energy-efficient light bulbs, insulating the house. Here in New Jersey and other states across the United States, you can contact them and have them do an energy audit for you, determining all your home's strengths and weaknesses. Alright, so here's what I did. This is solar thermal evacuated tubes. This system does about 80% of our hot water all by itself. This runs in conjunction with a tankless electric hot water system. Geothermal. We use a ground source heat pump to heat and cool our home. Solar PV, photovoltaics. We use this 13 kW system to produce all the electricity that our entire house uses in a year, and that includes the car. During the course of the year, we use this net meter. When we produce more electricity than we are using, we send it down the road. When we need the power at night or maybe during the winter, the utility gives us a credit. Now we make as much power as we use, hence the term net zero. And we've converted just about everything to run on electricity. Leaf blowers, weed whackers, hedge trimmers, power washers, everything. No oil, no gas, no loud noises, they're cheaper, and when we run them, it doesn't cost us anything. Oh yeah, and the best part, they always start. Now before we go any further, I must concede we do have a little bit of fossil fuels left in the home. Our barbecue grill and our cooktop in our kitchen still use natural gas. Now we still may convert them to electrical devices, but at this point, we have them. But here's a graph you'll find amusing. This is our yearly usage for gas. You'll notice in almost every month, the bar graph line is almost unrecognizable. So we're not perfect, but damn, we're pretty darn close. On a side note to this video, we also built an addition to our home this year. We added about 650 square feet, and we did it to passive house standards. This is a type of structure that uses 1/10 the energy of a regular home. If you're building a new home or addition, please check out my video on passive house. You'll find it very helpful. So here is our June utility bill, where most people's electric costs are through the roof. For gas, we paid $8.94, and for electricity, we paid $0. However, we did pay a $4.15 maintenance delivery fee. This is essentially a fee so the utility can maintain the lines. So there you have it. And this is a home that should make just about anyone happy. If you're an environmentalist, it's a sustainable, clean air, clean water, climate change preventing home. If you're a businessman, it's a good sound investment with nice returns. Plus, do you think energy is going to get cheaper over time? How about if you're a conservative who wants to be self-reliant and not dependent upon foreign oil? Well, we can run our homes, our cars, and our businesses on US-made electricity. Want to learn more about sustainability, renewable energy, or anything else in between? Contact me at njrenewableenergy.com.
Guys, didn't they do a beautiful job? I mean, can you imagine living without paying an electric bill and without paying for gas to fuel your car? You know, I asked my daughter, I said, Diana, what do you spend she drives down to Wilton every day from Danbury. I said, what do you spend a week? She said about $50 roughly, you know. So you got $200 a month in a fuel cost. And then your electric bill, our electric bill is probably $250 a month, maybe more. You know, those two costs can be eliminated. Now, of course, you're going to say, well, Rich, the panels aren't free. No, they're not. But you got to look at it that you're making an investment, and you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your own property. You're building value. You're building value while at the same time making yourself more liquid. What would you do with $400 more a month? And don't forget, down the road, you know, after everything is paid off, look at, and you know, energy's always going to get more expensive, except if you have solar panels. The sun's not going to charge any more next year than this year. It ain't going to happen. Now, the next clip is the CBS clip, and this is with Lyndon Rive. He's the president of Solar City, and he's also Elon Musk's cousin. So you can see the influence here. I guess you can kind of think of what kind of car he's got in his garage, right? All right, so John, if you can hit us with the next one.
In 2013, there was a 47% jump in the number of home solar installations in the country.
By the end of the year, more than 400,000 American homes had solar. Don Daler introduces us to one man who uses imagination to help energize the change.
New Jersey is one of the top 5 users of solar power in the country. One company, Solar City, says they're signing up new users in 14 states at the rate of 1 every 3 minutes. An impressive figure, especially when you consider Solar City's co-founder and CEO, Lyndon Rive, has absolutely zero experience in the power industry.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my third company.
A serial entrepreneur.
It is. I started my first company when I was 17. Then I started my second company when I was 22. Sold that to Dell Computers. And then started Solar City with my brother.
Rive immigrated from South Africa 15 years ago and started a successful computer company with 280 employees. But that was not how he became a permanent resident.
The interesting part of this is I never went to university, so I don't have a degree. So getting a green card for the country is really hard.
There are conditions that can be made for special individuals with special talents, correct?
Exactly. So both my wife and I play underwater hockey.
Well, hold on, you have to describe what underwater hockey is first.
So underwater hockey is you play with a mask, fin, snorkel, go down, hold your breath, play as long as you can. Before you run out of air, you give the puck to your buddy. You go up, get some air, and then come down and support your buddy.
Wait, you're not going to tell me that was your special talent?
That's the special talent. Exceptional ability for underwater hockey, and that's how we got our green card.
Solar City's business model is as different as its CEO.
We install the solar system for free. There's no cost. There's no cost for the equipment. There's no cost for the installation. There's no cost for the warranty and the maintenance. And then what we sell them is the electricity.
How is that not just trading one utility company for another?
It is. It's exactly that. So given the choice of paying more for dirty power or paying less for clean power, which one would you take?
Rive says his system solves the main issue that prevents homeowners from converting to solar power.
Most people still are stuck with the stigma that solar's too expensive. I can't afford the investment. But when we tell them that there's no investment and you just save money and it's cleaner, the next reaction is, you know, what's the catch? What am I missing?
What Rive is not missing is the gene for innovation. Elon Musk, creator of the all-electric car, the Tesla, is Solar City's chairman. He is also Rive's cousin.
Solar City addresses the electricity side, and then Tesla addresses the transportation side. So the two combined, we can start living a carbon-free lifestyle without sacrifice.
You're obviously a good salesman, but do you buy your own product? Do you have solar power at your house?
Absolutely, I have solar power at my house. I have a solar system, I have an electric car.
Does your electric vehicle happen to be a Tesla?
It is a Tesla. Greatest car in the world.
Surprise.
Surprise, exactly.
It was Musk who suggested Rive look into solar energy while the cousins were driving through the Nevada desert. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Don Daler, New York.
Guys, the question's simple. Would you pay more for dirty power or less for clean power? I mean, it's, you know. Now, they're primarily talking about the solar lease there. But there's different options. You know, you can buy the panels, you can lease them, or you can get what's called a solar loan. And banks are willing to lend money for solar. Why? Because they can verify the results. They know what the return on their investment's going to be because they know how much sunshine we're going to get each year. And I mean, they could be off by a little, but it's almost like when Detroit makes a new car, they can virtually tell, how many they're going to be able to sell. And same thing when it comes to voting. They get pretty close just by polling. But guys, the next clip is going to be the Connecticut Spotlight from Energize Connecticut. And they're going to show you the one girl, and I forget her name, but she's from Cephia, which used to be the Clean Energy Fund. And now it's the Clean Energy Finance and Investment Act. So they're, what they're doing is they're investing in Connecticut's future. And guys, they're making the money available. So we're going to run this clip and you'll get an idea at the different options. And then we'll show you some people and we'll show you the actual amount of money they were able to save. So let's watch the first clip with the different loans.
Connecticut Spotlight is brought to you by Energize Connecticut.
Good morning. Welcome to Connecticut Spotlight. I'm Mary Anderson, and my guest today is Carrie O'Neill from the state's Green Bank, representing Energize Connecticut. Welcome, Carrie.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad you're here. You came to share some information about going solar.
The cost of going solar has become so affordable. The price has come down more than 50% just in the last 3 years, and so it's never been more affordable to go solar. We also have great options to pay for it. We have lease options, and if you want to own your solar, great low interest, no money down financing options, so it's a really great time to go solar.
It sounds like it, and so even though the price has come down, I still have some financing options to take advantage of paying differently.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great options for whether you want to lease and not have the hassle of ownership, or if you want to own and take advantage of all those savings for years to come. They're great options.
And how do I go solar in my home?
So the most important thing is you've got to get an installer to come and look at your roof and tell you whether you're right, you have enough sun shining on the roof and there are no trees or anything. And so you're going to go to our website and find some installers to come give you quotes, and they're going to also tell you how you can afford to go solar and how you're going to pay for it.
And then what are the benefits?
So one of the most amazing benefits is, you're turning sunlight into savings, and that sunlight is creating electricity to power your home, and you can save money from years to come. You're going to take control of your electricity costs, and you're going to have a lower utility bill. You're going to lower utility costs.
And we visit your website if we want to learn more?
You can visit our website. You can learn about the installers. You can learn about great incentives and financing options. It's all right there.
Excellent. So it's really great information. If you wanted to learn more or to watch this video again, visit NBCConnecticut.com and search Spotlight.
Connecticut Spotlight is brought to you by Energize Connecticut.
Guys, the only thing you need to know is to pick up the phone. So all you got to do, pick up the phone, have, especially in Brookfield, have Ross Solar come out and just have them lay their cards on the table. There's only one or two things that can happen. Either you're going to be pleasantly surprised or you're going to say, thanks a lot, guys, one or the other. But I mean, at least go through the motions and go, especially now. I think you have until September 30th to take advantage of the solarized Brookfield prices. Now, the next clips, we're going to go through these pretty quick, but these are actual Connecticut residents, and you're going to see how much each one has saved by going solar. So, John, let's run the first one.
Senior citizens on limited incomes, you got to cut costs wherever you can. And solar is certainly a big step in the right direction. We called, I think, 5 different companies to come and look and go up on a roof and determine whether or not we were a suitable candidate for the whole scheme. And it turned out we were. When summer comes, we won't have to worry quite so much about running the central air. And I think the savings from solar are going to increase as time goes by because they keep putting the price of electricity up. The cost of the installation is zero to start with and paid for over 20 years.
Guys, even senior citizens can save. That's right. And you saw it was they saved $942. So listen, you're never too old to enjoy the sun. So John, let's go to the next clip.
What attracted us most to the Smarty loan was the fact that it was specifically tailored to the kinds of projects that we wanted to do in the home.
When I first brought the solar idea home, we had 3 or 4 different contractors come to the place to kind of give us estimates, and the prices came back a little bit higher than we thought.
I just looked at him and I was like, how are we going to do this right now?
But then when one of our contractors mentioned the Smarty loan, we figured that through financing we could actually go ahead and do the project.
The application process was just a few pages and some documentation, and the closing took, I'd say, no more than a half an hour.
Now we have them, and we're seeing real savings. It's been in operation for a month and a half, and we've done about 1,200 kilowatt hours, which is great. So thus far, we've been very, very pleased with it. For those who have that upfront capital as a barrier to solar, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who want to go forward with a project like this. I think the Smarty loan is going to make a real difference.
Guys, they saved $1,353. We're starting to get up there. But did you notice how nice the panels look on the house? On the next clip, really take a good look at the panels, and you're going to start to look at roofs and you're going to say, how come there aren't panels? I'm telling you, it's starting to happen with me. But John, roll the next one.
What we found to be most attractive about the CT Solar leasing program was when you generate power, there's no cap on what you generate. The excess electricity that we don't use actually gets net metered back to Connecticut Light and Power. So it's kind of like getting a credit. At the end of the year, you will get a check from the power company. I think it's a great way to kind of give back to the environment and ideally to the community and save a little bit of money along the way.
They saved $1,702. We keep getting up there. And now for the contest winner. We're going to show you a clip. I believe it's from the Stouts. And the guys, I tell you, wait till you see how they're teaching their kids. John?
When you have a family of 4 and teenagers, lights stay on, and the electric bills can get up there, especially in the summertime. Our family's always been interested in sustainability, and solar technology has changed significantly over the past 3 years. The efficiency level of the panels have increased, and the cost for the panels have decreased. So throughout Connecticut, and not just in Newtown, more and more people are understanding the benefits of solar and how it will affect their finances. We're trying to set an example for our children, and my wife and I are very much looking forward to lower utility bills. Kind of makes sense, right?
Guys, what would you do with an extra $2 grand a year? And you see the kids, can you imagine putting that in the bank for the kids? I mean, by the time they get ready for college, college will be paid. Is the light starting to go off? Are you starting to get the idea? Put your roof to work. Become a job creator. Rent out your roof. Remember, there's many different ways. All right, guys, now the last 2 clips, we're going to show you the largest solar array in the state of Connecticut. It's a big solar field, and complete with the politicians, because they're all starting to pat themselves on the back because they're finally starting to get it. So John, hit it.
A press conference was held on November 22nd to dedicate the Summers Solar Center in Connecticut. Located on 50 acres of private land, the center will produce enough electricity to power more than 1,500 homes.
You know, you have to be entrepreneurial in an incredibly aggressive and competitive and creative way to preserve open space like this. And you know, whether it's USDA grants or you know, the state's initiative here, the Lipton family again are just doing such a wonderful thing by promoting this project and keeping this unique character that we have in Eastern Connecticut alive and well, and contributing to Connecticut's future.
The Solar Center has 23,150 Kyocera solar panels and will generate approximately 5 megawatts of energy.
To have some of these large-scale installations to really let people know we're going there. We're going there. We are doing renewable energy. We are committed to renewable energy.
The project was the result of 2 years of hard work and cooperation between federal and state officials along with the private sector.
This is what happens when you have good government working with industry. You get things done, you get it done in a relatively short period of time. It's so critical to have everybody work together. I congratulate everyone. I thank everyone that's here. Everybody did their utmost to get this done, and it's truly a wonderful, wonderful project. Thank you so very much.
We are very proud to be part of the state's first utility-scale solar facility. It took a lot of partnership to get through this thing. The legislation was mentioned, a very good combination of public and private partnership working together to make this thing happen.
The center is one of 3 solar projects that will be placed in service by Dominion in 2013. The others are in Augusta, Georgia, and Indianapolis, Indiana.
Guys, did you see how beautiful that last shot was? I mean, that's something to be proud of. You know, I mean, we're, you know, and people, you know, people will say, well, you know, solar doesn't work that well. Baloney. It works great. And, you know, look at what Germany does, and they don't get half as much sun as we do in Connecticut. All right, now the last clip is going to be on the largest solar plant, the largest solar array in the world, and it's in Arizona. So, John, hit it.
The world's largest solar panel power plant is now up and running in Arizona. Situated on 2,400 acres between Yuma and Phoenix, the 290-megawatt plant will be sending electricity to the state of California for the next 2.5 decades. Under the 25-year-long contract with Pacific Gas and Electric, Arizona's new photovoltaic power plant will be responsible for providing power to at least 100,000 homes in the neighboring state. If you're going by maximum electricity production, the Agua Caliente plant will generate enough power to supply 230,000 residences. Chief Financial Officer at Mid-American Renewables, Richard Weech, commented, "It is exciting to see this project become fully operational and begin to realize the full benefit of emissions savings with the clean energy generated at Agua Caliente." With well over 5 million photovoltaic modules scattered over roughly 10 square miles, there is a good reason why so many people are excited about the plant dedicated to clean energy.
Guys, they're gorgeous, aren't they? I mean, we're getting there. All right, now, this was the nice portion of the show. You know, when what we really wanted to do was we wanted to just stress that solar is an investment. It's an investment that works. It'll benefit you, your family, your pocketbook. And guys, the only thing you have to do is pick up the phone. That's it, you know? And like I said, there's, you know, there's different options. You know, you can buy, you can lease, you know, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And, you know, and I tell you, if there's anybody that would like to come on the show after they've seen, or, you know, would like me to come over and give me a little synopsis about, you know, the different scenarios they were offered that I can show on the show, I'd really appreciate that. All right, so anyway, that wraps up the nice portion of the show. So now we're going to hit you with a little John Lennon, and we're going to come back with some bada bings.
I'm sick to death of seeing things from tight-lipped, condescending mamas, little chauvinists. All I want is the truth. Just give me some truth now. I've had enough of watching scenes with schizophrenic, egocentric, paranoid prima donnas. All I want is the truth now. Just give me some truth. No short head, yellow belly, son of tricky dick is gonna mother
all he does is tell us the truth. So, guys, I don't know if you've been watching the World Cup, you know, the soccer. But I mean, it's amazing the amount of people that are watching. And John, can you throw up some of, yeah. And guys, I wanted you to see, as you look at some of these, you know, the stills, I want you to look at the advertising in the background. And you'll see Yingli Solar there. All right, now we're going to play a little clip about Yingli Solar. So, John, hit us with the first clip.
Sich diese jungen Männer auf ihre Mission vor. Sie sollen ihre Firma Yingli Solar zur Nummer 1 in der Welt machen. Wir bilden unsere Mitarbeiter wie in einer Armee aus. In einer Armee müssen alle Soldaten einig sein. Erst dann kann man die Kriege gewinnen. Und der Feldzug ist bislang recht erfolgreich. Yingli ist schon jetzt weltweit einer der größten Produzenten von Solarzellen. 93% davon gehen in den Export, in die USA, Korea, Frankreich, aber auch nach Deutschland. Yinglis Qualität ist hoch, entspricht auch den hohen europäischen Qualitätsstandards. Aber die Arbeitskraft kostet eben nur einen Bruchteil dessen, was sie zum Beispiel in Deutschland kosten würde. Herr Ma ist Chefstratege von Yingli und mächtig stolz auf das, was sein Unternehmen in so kurzer Zeit seiner Geschichte geleistet hat. Wir haben 1998 umgerechnet mit 100.000 € angefangen. Heute liegt allein der Umsatz unseres Solarzellenverkaufs bei 1,2 Milliarden. Wenn wir die ganze Unternehmensgruppe zusammennehmen, ist es noch deutlich mehr. Der Aufstieg von Yingli ist eine Erfolgsgeschichte ganz nach dem Geschmack der chinesischen Regierung, die die Wirtschaft des Landes umbauen möchte. Weg von Billigprodukten hin zu international wettbewerbsfähiger Umwelt- und Hochtechnologie. Unternehmen und Regierung marschieren.
Guys, do you understand that solar is a universal language? I mean, you didn't need to know what the guy was saying. The guy's talking in German, all the writing's in Chinese, but all you had to do was look at the solar panels and look at the fossil fuel plant that was creating putting the carbon in the air, and you didn't need to know any other language. As soon as you saw that solar panel, you understood what they were talking about. And that's what we need here, a universal language. All right, now, with Yingli, guys, it's hard to believe how big this company is, and they came from nowhere, and how active they are, and we're going to show you the clip. And then I'm going to teach you the Yingli salute. So, John, let's have the next clip.
Hi, James West here from Climate Desk. If you've been watching the World Cup, you may be noticing something unusual on the sidelines. There it is behind US star goalie Tim Howard. There it is again as Germany routed Brazil. There it is amongst the usual assortment of familiar brands like McDonald's and Visa, who all cough up between $50 and $100 million for the rights to put their name in front of 3 billion global viewers. But this one isn't, well, a household name. At least yet. Who is it? Yingli Solar, the world's biggest manufacturer of solar panels. The company became the first renewable energy sponsor and the first Chinese sponsor in 2010's World Cup. We recently were granted a rare opportunity to go behind the scenes at this Chinese giant's factory on their sprawling campus south of Beijing. Workers here are streaming out of this factory today, knocking off from work. This is in fact the headquarters of the world's largest solar manufacturer, Yingli. And this is going to be really nerdy, but I have to say, it was one of the coolest places I've ever seen. They took us through every stage of panel making, from fashioning these ingots of silicon to these first stages of making the panels themselves. Every stage, advanced robotics controlled everything. Until finally, these familiar blue squares began to emerge. They're packed up, and then they're shipped right around the globe. Business is booming.
那么从2004年到呢今年2013年，它的产能和它的产值基本上每年都是翻的涨。
谈到我们公司的规模的话呢，我们现在人员的话呢，我们现在有将近，就是我们现在整个集团现在有3万，已经超过了3万人。那么国际市场的增长呢，重点的就是这个新兴市场的增长，拉美、印度。 像这个东南亚以及非洲这些市场。
Having seen this place, it's no surprise to me now that China is the global leader in renewable energy investment. In 2013, they dumped $54 billion into renewable energy. That far outstrips the US. That aggressive governmental support hasn't come without controversy. Washington accuses Beijing of dumping cut-price panels on the US market here and says that local producers just can't compete. That's led to the Department of Commerce proposing new tariffs against companies like Yingli. We asked whether that had bred any animosity or tension between the US and China.
确实，我们能听到很多媒体也好，很多声音也好，能够听到说中美两国可能是一个比较大的一个竞争伙伴，竞争对手。但是我个人认为呢，实际上这个竞争对手之外，实际上更大层面的，我们还是一个合作伙伴。那么我们的原材料很多呢，也是来自于美国市场。
Ironically enough, Yingli's base is here in Baoding, in Hebei province, which is known as one of China's heavy industry bases. As you can see around me, the air isn't exactly clean. This is a type of problem that Yingli hopes to solve.
对，另外呢，就是说的，我们知道，就是说我们过分的依赖于化石能源，给就是我们就是环境造成了很大的一种。 每年有很多的这个自然灾害发生，都是和我们过分依赖就是化石能源，过分的就是说的这种释放呢，这二氧化碳呢，就是说的分不开的。
By the end of this World Cup, they hope they're a little bit more of a household name.
So guys, now you can say we've got a Chinese company whose production has doubled each year for the past 10 years. What other company's production has doubled in the last 10 years? It's each year. That's phenomenal growth. And as far as China, the country of China spent in 2013 $54 billion on renewable energy. What the United States spent was pale in comparison. These guys are leading the world. So whenever you hear somebody like Rush Limbaugh or anybody on Fox come on and say, you know, what about the Indians? What about the Chinese? The Chinese aren't doing anything. From now on, you give them the Yingli salute. You give them the old Yingli. Whenever they say anything about China, Yingli. Doesn't matter. Yingli. That's it. So guys, what do? Yingli. Sorry. Hey, it's lonely, you know? All right, now, guys, the next clip we're going to do, it's on the BBC. And the BBC has purged the climate deniers from ever putting anything on the BBC again. But we'll let the Young Turks explain it to you. Yingli!
The BBC has decided that they will no longer give a platform to climate science deniers. Now, to be particularly clear, or very clear about what they're doing, is they want to ensure that they won't create a false balance between climate science deniers and those who have agreed, who have come to a consensus that climate change has happened because of human activity. Now, it was all published in a report from the BBC Trust, and I want to read you a piece of it. They said that the Trust wishes to emphasize the importance of attempting to establish where the weight of scientific agreement may be found and make that clear to audiences. So debates involving people like Bill Nye and then a climate science denier or a creationist would no longer happen on an outlet like BBC. And I think that that's a good thing, because we do have a problem in the United States with certain cable news networks that want to create a false balance between two opposing sides. As a journalist, as a news source that's supposed to give the audience facts about a particular case, you're supposed to be honest. You're supposed to do fact checking. So having some climate science denier on with someone who is actually well trained and knows what's really going on with the environment doesn't really make sense, especially if you treat them as equals.
So they pointed out several things. The UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change said that there's a 95% certainty that climate change, of course, exists and that it is man-made. And so they say, look, when you go to look for scientists who are against that, it's really hard to find them. And another reason that it's hard to find them is because 97% of scientists agree that it's man-made global warming climate change, right? So a lot of times they say that they have to refer to this single guy, Bob Carter, who's an Australian geologist who's retired but is paid by the industry-affiliated Heartland Institute.
Right.
He's literally paid to say this BS, right? So they always bring him on. But they're like, why are you bringing on a guy that you know is a paid shill of the industry, because you literally cannot find any other scientists to come on air to say it's true. You also couldn't find a scientist to come on air and to say the world is flat. You should stop looking.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's this ridiculous obsession with being fair and balanced. And, you know, being objective and being neutral are two completely different things, right? You want to ensure that you're giving the audience the facts. And so if someone is already corrupted by corporate money, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't lead to journalistic integrity to invite that person on a program and share their point of view. They've been corrupted by money. So I love that they're coming out and they're saying this. Hopefully this type of ideology will spread across all news outlets and they'll do the same thing, but who knows?
You know, John Oliver did a great skit about this where he said, look, if I had to represent it honestly, I would have a debate, and he had a climate change person on, an actual scientist, in one of his segments, and then he had a denier, and then he brought in 98 other scientists to back up the one scientist who was telling the truth. You can't have a 50-50 debate when it's not a 50-50 debate. So yes, by being 50-50, you're being neutral, but you're not being objective about the actual facts, which is that 97% of the world's scientists say there's no question that climate change is real and it is man-made.
Guys, observable facts. And that's what drives the conservatives and people like Uncle Joey crazy. Because the thing is, they hate it when you ask them to get specific. They hate it. Because once they find out that they have nothing to back up what they say, they delete posts. I mean, these are the way these people are. They can't be honest with you. All right, now, the next clip we're going to do is from Bill Maher. And talking about telling lies, you know. And the reason why I do the show is, you guys know, I love to hate Fox because they lie. And I mean, we've shown it over and over again how bad they are, you know, when it comes to climate denial and how they get their facts wrong and they mislead people. But we're going to have some fun now, and we're going to let Bill Maher give him the old bada bing. And I tell you, between him and Jon Stewart, they're the best. So, John, hit it.
Finally, new rule. Now that there's been an uproar over all the neocons who lied about the Iraq war with no consequences, someone must tell me why there isn't a similar uproar over all the Republicans who lied about Obamacare with no consequences. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years since the bill passed. Has anybody come across even one death panel? The next liberal to tell a Republican, you're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts, should really just admit they've never seen Fox News. Now, look, I get it that neither party has a monopoly on lying, and in fact, they all do it so often they've invented their own word for it. I misspoke. But how come the rule for one party, the Republican Party, is that when they get caught in a lie, they don't have to stop telling it? They said Obamacare would use death panels. It doesn't. They said it was a government takeover, and the insurance industry is making record profits. They said it covered illegals. It doesn't. They said it was a job killer. It hasn't been. They said there were elves who bake cookies in trees. Well, almost. Now, for sure, Obama also told a lie when he said everybody who likes their health care plan can keep it. And for about 2% of the population, that did turn out to be false. The difference is he stopped saying it. He stepped up and said, you're right, my bad, because he understands there's this thing called observable reality. But on the Republican side, observable reality needs more study. Which is why their talking points that have been disproven remain. Like a guest who's been asked to leave a party but does not. It reminds me of a horror movie where you think you've killed the lie, but it won't stay dead. Which is why I call them zombie lies. Oh, what an effect. Excuse me, I have a weak heart. Yes, zombie lies. Remember fracking doesn't cause earthquakes? Zombie lie, so stop saying it. Voter fraud? We studied it. It's not an actual problem. Stop zombie lying about it. Their entire economic philosophy, cut taxes for the rich and it trickles down, is a zombie lie. And all these zombie lies, are still out there roaming the countryside, neither alive nor dead, like Dick Cheney. Hungry for brains, like Dick Cheney. I mean, we think we've eradicated one, but it turns out it's just lying dormant in a cave full of bat blood, like the Ebola virus, or Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, who did not even bother in his recent return from the dead to update the lies he told about Iraq the first time. He's still out there saying, well, Saddam was building a bomb and he was working with Al-Qaeda. What? It's like when Chuck Berry sings Sweet Little 16. You're 90, man. No, there is no shame in their game. 1 week they're out there saying, no one will sign up for Obamacare. And the next week, oh, okay, they signed up? Sure, okay, but they aren't paying the premiums. Oh, they are? Okay. Well, they're paying, but it's not the young people. Oh, it is? It's the young people? Okay. But it only covers you if you're gay. You know, you just want to go, wait, when did we switch over? What happened to yesterday's lie? It's still out there forever, like a plastic bag in a tree. But now we're just using the new one? Yes, because what they do is they pass a zombie lie down to dumber and dumber people who believe it more and more. Hank Paulson may be over the one about climate change being a hoax, but it's still good enough for Sean Hannity, who then gets quoted by Michelle Bachmann, who forms the intellectual core of the thinking of Victoria Jackson. And when you think the zombie lie has finally gone to die at the idea hospice of the absolutely stupidest people on earth, there it is being retweeted by Donald Trump. All right.
Oh, brother, I tell you, that's got to remind me of Uncle Joey. you know, because Uncle Joe just keeps repeating what he's told and he refuses to change his mind. It doesn't matter what evidence you give him. It's like the one time I'm listening to Brian Kilmeade on Fox, and he says, I don't care what you tell me. I don't care what facts you give me. I'm not going to believe it. So I'm saying, what is this? Does he think that climate change and global warming is like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus? You know, when you have observable facts and observable reality, like Bill Maher said, you can't argue with it, you know? Now we have 2 minutes left. Guys, every time we go to end the show, we always seem to run into a problem because we never know where we stand. So there's 2 minutes now. Uh-oh.
Keep going.
Keep going? Okay, well, I'm running out of material here. All right, so let's backtrack, and we'll go back to the, don't forget, guys, the easiest thing to do is just pick up the phone, call Ross Solar, and just have them come on out. First, they're going to take a satellite picture of your roof. Make sure you qualify, and then they'll come over and they'll lay their cards on the table and tell you exactly what your options are. So we're working on our dismount over here, guys. So Judy's trying to tell me, but anyway, find out what your financing options are and see how much money you can save. And also, guys, if you're going to have them come over, do me a favor. Get in touch with me on the web, or you can email me and let me know how everything worked out. I'd love to be able, if you could email me the statistics that they give you when they come out. I'd love to see what they have to say. All right, so until next week, and I think next week we're really going to shift gears. We're going to start to look at wind, guys. So anyway, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. 4, 3, 2, well, what a perfect ending.